Welcome everybody back to another installation of the Minor League Esports Network brought to you by ATM Music. My name is Fresh. I have some we as collectively as a broadcast team are having some technical difficulties with OBS. So you're going to get to look at this wonderful selfie I took about 10 seconds ago. This is actually what I'm wearing right now. I'm joined by my co-caster, Luke. Luke, you've already been through a series tonight. Are you ready for the second one?
I am. We're having a big jump of skill. We're going straight from Academy League all the way to Premier League to end the night off, or end the weekend off, really. I'm honestly excited to see these are two teams that have big questions around them. So I think this is going to be a big test of skill for both sides.
It really is. The Shadow and the Flames is the division rivalry. It is, I forget which division. I think it's Mystic Division. But they are division rivals. This is always the series that every season, doesn't matter what the roster is, doesn't matter who got retained or who got drafted, every time these teams play each other, everybody comes out to watch. So I know that like earlier on OpenNet especially, we talked about like the Shadows draft options and what they were doing. And like, have you been watching to see like how the first 2 weeks did with the PL team for the Shadow?
I have, and I've been pretty head on with it. I thought they'd be a team that I could see do well in threes because I think they could have a good roster like that. I don't think they're going to be top of the top. I just don't see it. But I think they could be a team that can fight for those wild card spots with how they play. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do because, again, they're 2-8. They have not had a good start. Flames are 7-3. So this is going to be a series where it's a must win. It really is a must win because the Flames are not really one of the top teams. And with Jakin not playing, it's really a blessing for the Shadow.
It really is. Jordan here has it along the backboard, gets a flip for the stabilize, gets for the double, but Prosperity 2K is going to pop it right back up over the last defender. Pops it out too far for him to touch. Jordan's going to come in and try and put that down. John's going to knock it away. Here comes Prosperity 2K, grabs the mid boost. John misses the ball, leaves it for Cheese Sandwich, who's going to bang it all the way down. Prosperity's going to try and get control of this under a clear. Can't quite get there, and Jordan bangs it all the way back down the field for the Flames to chase it back. Here comes John, up off the ceiling, looking for a ceiling pinch, doesn't quite get it. Jordan here bangs it off the backboard, looking for another demo. John is going to get control of it, gets it over Prosperity. Nobody's back for the Shadow, but John's looking low. He's low on blues. Prosperity gets back, makes a save. Cheese comes in and knocks that one in. And unfortunately, the pass mid from Prosperity 2K cost the Shadow a first goal.
I mean, again, Prosperity 2K is very well known for that kind of quick cuts on the defensive side of the field, but sometimes if you're doing it towards your own net, it can turn into an awkward positioning for your team. I mean, Jordan really couldn't do it there, but watch the ball go in from that shot from Cheese Sandwich. And again, now we're going to have to see how the shot can come back here.
Shadow here have it really awkward in the corner. The Flames trying to get possession of it. Cheese Sandwich sitting about quarter boost, pops it up with the net. Jordan's awkward. John comes in, knocks that one right over the top. And the Flames have extended their lead to 2 very early on.
And again, now it's just, again, awkward positioning again. I mean, Jordan has just really been playing for the most just really confusing positions on defense, and he just has to kind of figure out what to do. And now, I mean, I thought this series was going to be more favorable for the Shadow, but so far I've been proven wrong. Flames really showing up today.
Oh, the pass down to Prosperity gets blocked by John. John has it. Jordan's going to get there and 50 it into the corner, but it's back to center. Cheese 50s it with Prosperity. They're trying to get possession. John here loses it in the corner. It's Jordan, who gets an offer. He goes for a wall pinch, doesn't quite get it. Wins the 50 down the wall. John here grabs the corner boost, gets the 50, pops it out to Cheese Sandwich, and banks it down to the Shadow end. John jumps for this, low boost, can't quite get it, gets a pinch off the back wall. Out for Cheese Sandwich, who 50s it back towards the Shadow net. John is there, but he's low on boost, can't get there in time. And Jordan's going to pop this high in center for Prosperity to come in, knock it down. It's off the post. Then Cheese Sandwich makes the save. Jordan's going to go for a second attempt here, puts it into the corner, knocks it down off the corner of the back wall. Cheese is going to go, miss. And John's going to go for a flick over Jordan, but he doesn't quite get it. Here he is, still under control. Has the ball there. Jordan jumped for this yesterday. Comes down right in front of the net, and John clears it out. Prosperity comes in, pushes it up the wall, tries to get it over John, and he does. Cheese Sandwich is a little awkward. Prosperity puts it off the backboard, looking for the bump, but nobody's home. The Flames regain possession on the wall, lose it to Cheese Sandwich, who's up on the backboard, looking for a clear. Gets it down to the sidewall, but Prosperity is going to be there right to take it away. Prosperity brings it up into the corner, puts it over John. John wins the 50. Jordan trying to keep it in, and the Shadow are just mounting a massive amount of offensive pressure.
Yeah, but that's not turning into goals per se. That's a great shot there off the crossbar. No follow from Jordan as it does come in, but that one's also high. Again, it doesn't matter if you have all the pressure if you're not going to be able to capitalize on any of it. Now Flames take across the field. It's a 1-2 cheese sandwich off the backboard. No third man because it's only 2v2. Able to finish it away. Now Prosperity going off the backboard, trying to get that center. It is up in the air. Jordan gets a free shot, and there it is. Lee cut down to 1.
Definitely a good play from the Shadow. They were bound to get one. They're going on that backboard all the time, and the Flames' backboard defense has been up to par up until that play. You got Prosperity now and John on the kickoff. Going to see who wins this 50. The kickoffs in PL are especially important because you can't make mistakes like that. And you can't make mistakes like that either. Jordan whiffing an open net. You know what they say. Once a Shadow, always a Shadow, and that is the Shadow motto. Missing open nets. Jordan here grabs the corner boost from John, who's dry, pops it out to mid. Jordan's going to take it and tap it away. He's going to lose possession there. John demos Jordan in the midfield, and Cheese can't quite get there. Prosperity gets a touchdown into the corner, can't quite win that back from the Flames defense. John here has it along the wall, knocks it down into the Shadow corner. Jordan's here near post waiting for it, but John gets an extra touch. Jordan here trying to get it to his teammate or get control of it under some situation. Loses that 50 there. Prosperity takes over. Shadow here coming up, looking for a flick over and backboard. John gets a nice little clear to the midfield, where Jordan's going to slip this and send that right back in, where Cheese is forced to make a save, even though he doesn't get credit for one. Cheese puts this on net. Prosperity's up for this, gets a good control down into the corner. Prosperity loses a 50 to John. Jordan's going to try and get this out. He's got about a half a tank of boost and a whole field to play with. What's he going to do? He's going to lose it to Cheese Sandwich. He's going to bang it right down towards his other net. Try and put a shot on goal. Flames here. They're struggling in the midfield, if I notice that anything at all. The Flames are not getting possession in the midfield. They're relying on the really big booming clears to get their offense going.
But it works because you have the lead in your favor. All you want to do is just get the Shadow to give up possession before they get to your net. And it's worked so far. Jordan has just not really had any opportunity to go for anything special. And I mean, another big miss from P2K, and it just feels like that even if the Flames are not really being ground the possession category, they're making use of these defensive challenges in a way that they can win. As I say that, Jordan's a great challenge in the midfield. He will get a lead up for Prosperity. Gets tries a great shot, great save from John, and the follow-up not able to beat out the defender of Cheese Sandwich. And this might be all but game as Prosperity goes for a boost. That's an open net, and Cheese Sandwich will lock game one up for them.
That is the hook, line, and sinker. The last nail in the coffin for the Flames for game one. It's just insult to injury at this point, but you know, like we always say, the first game of a series never actually defines how the series is going to go. I'll say 9 out of 10 times it doesn't. So the first game is usually a feeler game. Teams are feeling each other out, getting a good touch off the backboard. Oh my goodness! Just casually talking, waiting for the clock to end, talking going into game 2, and Prosperity 2K comes out with an absolute dunk on Cheese Sandwich and taps that one in far post. Wow.
I mean, if you want to talk about momentum, that's the way to get back on your side of the field. I mean, they were dominating pressure for that whole second half of game number 1. The Flames, they get the win, but I really would not say this is a really locked series for them. I really think that they're going to be the ones who are going to have to be clawing back a lot of situations, unless the Shadow, as we saw earlier in the game, struggle to put shots on target.
Yeah, the Shadow are heavily outshooting the Flames, but the Flames are putting a stop to everything that's coming on. The Flames, although they won the game, they got their goals on breakaways and the one extra on like a dunk that was loose. They're really just capitalizing on the Shadow's mistakes, but the Shadow have the majority of the offensive pressure. I think when I started counting, the Shadow had offensive pressure for a good minute and 20 seconds at one point in the game. That's almost what, 2/5 of the game? A fifth and a third of a minute or whatever.
If I was good at math, I could help you. I would help if I could.
But I am terrible at math. But the point stands is that the Shadow, they've really just got to find the back of the net, which I know I am in no position to coach Premier League players, but that really just comes down to shot placement and placing your shots where you want to. Because at this level, at Premier League, they have the talent, they have the skill and the individual ability to do that. If it were Academy League or Champ League, not so much. It would be more about like, okay, how can we beat them on faster touches? But, the air dribble bump there from Cheese Sandwich almost goes in, and John has touch of it. The Flames, we're going to have to see a big change for them, especially in the offensive department this game.
Absolutely. And I think the big thing for me is like, who's really like going to step up and make these solo play efforts? Because again, choose a lot of it, whether I like to say whether you're being a ball hog or not, is being the flashy player. I mean, the reason the Flames are 7-3 and 2s is because that they have a player like Jay Ken who can make these solo efforts and kind of pull goals out when you need it, especially when your teammate is not really stepping up to par. We need someone on the shadow to do that. Will it be Jordan? Will it be Ross? As I said, I flip reset. Oh. Jordan, I know he's listening to me. He listens when I know he needs to do something.
That is, I mean, that's just, I mean, at this rank and at this level, these guys are what, GC3 SSL at that point. These guys have the ability to do that casually whenever they want, but nonetheless, it's still a really, really good play. And remember, for all of you in chat and all of you teammates watching, this is a mainstream. And it's not an affiliate stream, but it is a mainstream. So any Twitch clips from this, a play that you thought was really good or a goal that really stood out, you can submit to the OpenNet podcast. And then on Wednesday, we will vote for a play of the week. And the winner of play of the week gets a free case of Balls Guarana shipped to their house. That is still a thing. So make sure that for all you Shadow fans in chat that you clip that and submit it, because that's definitely going to be a heavy contender.
Hey, that's what I like to hear. That's a good promotional. As I say that, John, it's the slow roller. Unbelievable play. I mean, just seems like, again, that lead that the Shadow just got taken away. John with a great read from the offside of the net. I mean, it's not an easy one to put on target, but he does in a way where P2K is not able to make the save. And now, Shadow, that lead is gone, and you got to make something else. You can't just rely only on Jordan's solo efforts and heroics to get you a lead.
You really can't. You can't even in twos. You can't rely on one player. You still have to play as a team. In threes, you have the luxury of a third man, where a second man or first man can play a little more risky because you have security of a third man. But in twos, you really don't. You have to work together. And right now, the Flames are just on it all, and they're just putting the pressure onto the Shadow. Demo comes out from P2K. That's open. Jordan puts it in, and the Shadow regain their 1-goal lead.
If there's anything I know about P2K, he knows when to go for the right demo. I mean, John would have had this save with Jordan being out of boost, but that's a great communication between the players of the Shadow, saying, hey, I need help here because I'm not going to be able to get to this before John does. And P2K says, don't worry, I got it. And now, I mean, you got that lead back. Flames, what are you going to do to answer?
Jordan here has it out, pops out mid for P2K. John gets the save. Jordan takes control of it in his own corner, but he's got to beat John. Beats it off the ceiling, looking for a second touch. 50s it with cheese sandwich out to the opposite wall. Jordan comes in, pops it up high. John's backwards and awkwards, looking like he's a little low on boost, so P2K snags that right there. Jordan here, trying to get a touch, trying to beat the last defender. The Flames looking for a demo. Gets it out there, looking for a backboard touch. No double for him, though, although it does down in front of net, but John gets it over Prosperity at the last second. Jeez down here, tries to get it over there. And Flames trying to capitalize on that overcommit like you were about to say. But unfortunately, the Shadow, they're just looking really solid on the back third.
And luckily, the thing the Flames are doing so well is they are starving this Shadow defense. I mean, Jordan, I feel like he's just lurking around, trying to find any boost he can. Finally gets a challenge, but again, at that point, he doesn't really have much he can do with it, and he has to figure out how to get boosts again. I mean, Flames, keep using that to your advantage, so eventually you're going to get a big mistake out of the Shadow that will lead to that equalizer they need. That's a great play there. Cheese sandwich, can he get back to it? He's not able to. Very 2K, able to control, gets it off the backboard. No one in net. After Cheese sandwich, a little bit of a dive, and I'll leave it open there. They're going to punish it. Oh my goodness. As I said, Cheese sandwich does it all himself.
That is painful to watch. Prosperity 2K got the fake in the corner. The player missed it. And then Cheese just couldn't get it under control when it unfortunately landed on his car. And that's a near post rotation from both of the Flames defenders. So you hate to see it, but the Flames, they're not looking so hot in game two. That last goal from the Shadow, they really carried that momentum through the intermission and into game two. And that's worked them absolute wonders. But the Flames aren't to be counted out either. They've still got good statistic lines to back them up. They've got the same amount of saves, roughly the same amount of shots. They're one shot shy of the Shadow. Overall, statistically, the game is very even, but the Shadow have had a little bit better opportunities on the offensive third.
Absolutely. I mean, it just feels like the Flames are really just trying to hope that the Shadow make a mistake to punish. I mean, I just really feel like they have not really done anything as in a kind of offensively together besides kind of punish for defensive error. I kind of talked about it last series. A lot of the goals were just kind of clean up aisle on, the opponent's side. And here, it's not as much the case. I mean, Flames, yeah, they're trying to do it, but this isn't Academy League. Opponents, players at this level are not going to make mistakes like that super easily.
No, they really won't. But we have seen a lot of missed touches out of the Shadow. Not so many out of the Flames. For the Flames, I really feel like they've just got to get a little more creative. Like look at the spacing there in the mid-third. They were both on top of each other. This left P2K and Jordan wide open. What a save from John to keep the scoreline what it is. But with 14 seconds left, Prosperity 2K is going to take this, put it up the wall, get a dunk on John's clear, and Cheese is going to lose this 50 here. But both the Shadow are up. They might be able to get a roller. Nope, Jordan's here. The Flames almost had it and shut me up. P2K keeps it up. Cheese Sandwich drops the ball. Unfortunately, can't get under it to dribble it. And the series is now tied at 1-1.
Just felt like the Shadow, it's like we said in game one, the Shadow really were being a much better offensive threat than the Flames were, but the result did not go in the way of the Shadow. This game, they really took advantage of their offensive capabilities. They went for a lot more creative solo plays with the flip reset from Jordan, the demo play as well. I mean, the creativity's there, and as you said it, Flames, they gotta show a little, they gotta reach into that bag of tricks they have and pull something out that might be able to catch the Shadow off guard and steal another game in the series.
Yeah, it's anybody's series right now. If it keeps at this pace and these teams keep at the level that they're playing, as in their consistency, I fully expect to see a game 5, like a game 5 series deciding match, because it's just like the statistics are relatively the same amount of saves, same amount of shots, to give or take a couple. And it's to be honest with you, I don't even have any predictions or changes to make, because I see nothing wrong with either of these teams. It's just going to come down to who makes the biggest mistake and when.
It's a very neutral lobby. I mean, I just think both teams have clearly shown their pros and cons very early and kind of played like their whole hand, and they're kind of like, okay, now they just have to, it's all about the adjustment game. How are you going to adjust when you lose a game? I mean, Shadow really didn't change it that much. They fixed it halfway through game number 1, and now it's going to be on to the Flames. What can you do here? Can you turn around and get back in the lead of this series?
Cheese Sandwich here has this in the corner. P2K is going to knock it behind him. John's going to try and come in and get this up to the corner. Jordan's a little awkward with it on the wall. Manages to get a touch, but Prosperity's backwards. Gets a redirect out to the mid-third. Jordan can't quite get to that, but Prosperity can. Jordan wanted to jump for that, went for the fake. John banged it off the backboard. Flames are going to take possession of this. An unfortunate 50 there. It's a dry Cheese Sandwich, flicks it out to the opposite side of the field. John gets bumped. Prosperity here got 2 to beat. Cheese is up for this, trying to get control of it. John comes under him. And I will say this, and I'm noticing this a lot. The Flames spacing in like rotations, I mean, I'm not one to talk, but I really do not feel like they are good right now. I feel like they are a lot of times they are on top of each other, they double commit, and I'm seeing a lot of spacing in between the Shadow players. They're always, a quarter of the field apart. They're not running on top of each other. It just seems like their gameplay and their rotations are a lot smoother.
Absolutely, and it also kind of comes down to communication. Clearly, you can tell the communication is there for the Shadow. We've seen them go for passing play time and time again. And I mean, these are two very veteran players. We know what Jordan and P2K have done in MLE over the seasons. They understand what it takes to kind of win series and kind of be a top contender in this league. So, I mean, they understand what type of level of communication and rotations they need. And on the other side, it just feels like the Flames understand that what they have to do to come back. That's a great shot from Cheese Sandwich. But again, not threatening enough to really put the Shadow in a really awkward position.
Big save there from Cheese Sandwich as Prosperity 2K takes control of it in the mid-third. Flicks it up. John can't get to it. Prosperity tries to bang it around the corner, gets a dead kill 50 right there at the top of the box. Jordan here has it now. He's got boost, but he loses it to John. Prosperity jumps up for this, puts it hard on net. Cheese Sandwich makes a save and manages to follow it, gets a second touch to knock it down. Jordan here touches it up the wall, gets bumped by Cheese Sandwich though. John look, has to go back because Prosperity 2K was already up for that. John here gets it out. Cheese Sandwich pops it up. Jordan has a touch, but he bumps the player instead. Here he pinches it out to the corner. Prosperity's looking for a touch. He elects to rotate out and let his teammate take the next hit. Jordan pops it up off the backboard, but there's not a good angle for Prosperity, so he's going to take it and pop it right back in. They demo each other. John keeps it out, but he's out in net, and John can't get back to that, and that is going to be the first goal of Game 3 for the Shadow.
I mean, again, as we said, it just felt like it was kind of inevitable to happen at this point. I mean, they just kept getting light clear after light clear, and finally, there's not one that they can rotate back to net for, and now Flames, we just really kind of see him slow down offensively since game number 1.
Cheese Sandwich here gets a touch over Prosperity, but he gets the play. Prosperity gets the player too. Jordan here, electing to touch it off the wall, goes for a big clear. Cheese Sandwich is up for this, bangs it off down to the ceiling. Prosperity's going to read this. John's going to get bumped. The net's wide open for the Shadow. John can't get back to it. And the Shadow employing the physical plays to get the Flames defense out of the way to make a 2-goal lead.
I mean, that's what I love to see. I mean, this kind of strategy from the Shadows. One thing I did like about the Shadows draft, I never really talked about it, was kind of the physical nature of all these players that they picked there. It's like, these guys, they will fight, and they will definitely put up a challenge in your face when you don't want it. And I think it's going to be, it was kind of very exciting to see how they would kind of play as a unit. And, I mean, they really have shown, I mean, this probably being their best lineup showing up tonight, that they really do know how to kind of either play mechanical or play physical, and you kind of can change your play style up kind of on a dime. And it's really showing them why they're just kind of dominating now against the Flames here.
John here going for a touch. He's tries to grab a couple pads, manages to get out of Jordan, but he can't really recover because he's lost all his momentum. Jordan easily pops it over 1, pops it over 2, but it's high enough, and Prosperity 2K is going to elect to go back to net and make the Shadow save. Gets it off the backboard. The Flames are going to capitalize on that one, and they're going to shorten the lead to 1.
And hey, that's a good way to do it. I mean, good way to put Prosperity 2K in a very awkward situation. He does get the save, but not high enough to go off the backboard. And then that just kind of leaves it for Cheese Sandwich. I mean, the game is not out of reach, but again, I just need to see a little more creativity on offense from the Flames. I mean, we've seen what the Shadow could do with on and off the ball, but we need to see the Flames pull something out that would just surprise and equalize this game.
Cheese Sandwich here has it in the corner, looking to touch towards the mid, gets it off the backboard, but it's high and wide for his teammate. Likes to rotate out. John comes in, puts something off the crossbar, and Prosperity makes a save, and Jordan gets it clear. Flames here getting control of it again. A really awkward touch, it looks like, from Cheese Sandwich. He goes for a flip reset, doesn't get it, and Prosperity bangs it away. John here near post, low on boost, trying to figure out what he can do. He likes to go for an air dribble. Gets a touch out to himself, puts it down, looks over to Jordan, but Jordan reads that like a book. And the kill here from Cheese Sandwich, pass to John, and there is your creativity, Luke. The passing play from the Flames, and I believe the first one that we've seen all night. It is now a tie game.
That's what I'm saying. It works so well because, again, the Shadow aren't expecting it. It just seems like E2K was just expecting the slow catch and dribble and flick. But in the end, he gets caught out of position. Nothing he can do there. And now the Shadow, you get up 2 goals. Both of your goals have been really just off of sloppy mistakes and physical play. Now it's your turn to kind of show us some creativity like you did with the Jordan flip reset game number 2.
Oh, the Flames here. Awkward, trying to get it down. Jordan gets a touch. It's on the goal line. John bumps Prosperity off, but nobody is back for the Flames. Prosperity's just going to try and 50 this along the back wall, but Cheese Sandwich is actually no. Jordan's going to beat him to that. Prosperity elects to go for a dribble. Tries to play it slow. Both Shadow players retreat back into their own end. They touch out to the midfield. Prosperity goes up for a 50, and the Flames have an open net if he can hit this. And he can't because Jordan makes a save. The ball is still up. Is it going to touch the ground? And Cheese Sandwich misses quite fantastically, if I do say so myself. And we have a Game 3 overtime, and right off the bat, the Flames putting the pressure on the Shadow.
And I mean, it's an old saying from a couple seasons ago, Jordan the Lord. I mean, that man just saved the Shadow in defense. It just felt like pressure was never ending for the Flames. Like, he gives them this opportunity of overtime with some crucial saves. But now it's our opportunity. Jordan with a great pinch out front. He's trying to go push me off the backboard. Able to get a type of no-fall of John. Just playing the patient game. Both teams clearly slowing down, waiting for that overcommit from one side.
Oh, John going for a double touch clear. Can't quite get it. Cheese Sandwich loses a block to Jordan. John gets up to this, wins the 50, but Cheese Sandwich has to go for the mid boost. Nobody's home for the shadow. Jordan comes in and makes a save. Prosperity's going to take this up the wall. Beats John, but Cheese Sandwich is going to stop it. Here come the flames along the sidewall. Cheese Sandwich once again has no boost in the tank. And I feel like that's been a recurring issue with him.
That might actually cost him the game. Oh, great save from John, but no one's in net. Oh, but P2K leaves it instead. But as you were saying, Jordan actually went for the boost steal. I mean, that's great read by the opponent. Great shot or two from Cheese Sandwich. This game just feels like it's going to be back and forth time and time again. Another demo, but John not able to get there in time. Jordan trying to slow it down. He has an open net. It's not going to be the end of it. It will be. And I mean, Jordan, the Warden, 6 saves, stepping up when it matters.
6 saves and 5 shots. Now, the Flames outshot the Shadow. It's an inverse of game 1 where the Flames outshot the Shadow, but the Shadow still came on top. Like you said, Jordan the Warden. Man is an absolute legend in the back third, apparently, and it's just a massive display of skill and communication from the Shadow. There's absolutely, this is going to be a huge strike to the Flames' mental, having come that close and fought that hard and not coming away with a win.
Absolutely. I mean, they outshot him. I thought the Shadow were going to really lead every game in shooting, but the Flames stepped up so much in the later half of that game. It felt like they were going to really just take over. And I mean, at the end of the game, they had multiple shooting opportunities before overtime happened, and Jordan just kept the game alive and gave his team the opportunity to win it in overtime. And that's the type of things that separate the good players from the great players. But now, again, it's on the Flames. You've lost 2 in a row. What can you do now to kind of turn this series back in your favor?
Yeah, the Flames, if they want to force a Game 5 series decider, they're going to have to take Game 4. The Shadow have a 2-1 series lead, and there's nothing that's going to stop them now. The momentum that they have accrued over the past 2 games, starting with the game with a 0-second goal in Game 1, has been absolutely momentous. In the Shadow, they don't show any signs of slowing down.
Absolutely. Game number 4 is going to be that's for both. I mean, how the Shadow kind of adjusts our game to kind of not allow something like last game to happen where the Flames came back. It's going to be interesting. That's a great shot, Jordan. Good save on the line. Now he's going to try and get past one. Cheese Sandwich able to read the high touch. Now it's going to get a little slowed down. This game looking like it's going to be a lot slower match, a lot more solo effort plays on the dribble.
Prosperity 2K gets this over the last defender. John's going to be there to make the save, but Jordan's still waiting for it at the top of the box. John and Jordan here trying to get control of it. John is really low on boost. Now he's dry. He's got to get a 50 in the corner, and he does. But Cheese Sandwich can't go for that. He doesn't have quite a really good opportunity or angle, but Jordan pinches it right over the Flames' last second man. And so does Cheese Sandwich. Right back at you, my friend. Prosperity 2K getting an awkward touch out to the midfield, going up for a wall touch. Cheese Sandwich going for an air dribble here. Touches it down to himself, electing to try and find a more creative way to beat the last defender. John is up for this. Cheese Sandwich again on the goal line. Net is open. He had a really good angle if he could get to it, but he had no boost. And I feel like that is going to be the biggest deciding factor for the Flames is can Cheese Sandwich figure out his boost management, because that is ultimately going to be the death of him.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's a great play here. He actually does decide to play enough for the corner where he can get to the boost and back to the ball at the same time. But now PK has a slow play, not able to get through John. Gordon with the 50, but again, it also feels like wasted boost as well. I mean, I just watched Cheese waste like 20 boosts, going for really an unnecessary challenge. And now they're kind of at John, 0 again. They're just getting starved out time and time again. Jordan now will get actually a solo play opportunity unless if he beats Cheese. He will. Now P2K has to get the back, where he will leave for his teammate, and John will get the beat.
John bunks it all the way down for himself. Prosperity 2K keeps it in the corner. Cheese Sandwich actually has boost on the play this time and comes in, but he loses the 50 down to his own right corner. John here has along the wall, gets beat by Jordan. That's top 90. Cheese makes a save. John here in the corner challenging Prosperity, manages to get a bump, but Jordan's going to take possession of the ball. John gets a cleared down past both Shadow players, and they both retreat down in the defensive third. Prosperity here banks it off the back wall. Cheese Sandwich comes in, puts it off the backboard, looking for a double, gets it in. Ooh. There it is. And the Flames, for the first time in 15 minutes, have a lead.
Ah, man, I'm so Cheese Sandwich. Everyone really kind of talked. I will admit, the PL community talked down a little bit of Cheese Sandwich. Really, the guy who's not had a great performance so far. He's really shown up this game in the series. I mean, he's had some great goal line saves. That pinch top upper 90 earlier. Gets a great save for stop the kind of bleeding that the Shadow had opened from that overtime. And now they're in a position to score. Demo opportunity. Here's a great bump, but B2K able to retreat in time, bail his teammate out, and the Shadow feel like they're just stuck in their own end.
They really are. For the past 45 seconds of play or so, they really have been stuck in their own. The Flames are starting to get up. They scored that goal, and it feel like it really changed the tide for them. If they can figure out boost management and they can figure out their communication just a little bit better, then they'll have a lot more ability to contend with this Shadow defense.
Interesting. I mean, a lot more slow down plays. We saw a lot of clears and things that whole series, and finally it's starting to slow down just enough where it's like, okay, what are we going to get now from these teams? From Cheese Sandwich with another great 50. It feels like they're just really draining the Shadow, and Prosperity just leaves the ball, goes with a boost instead. It's a 2-0 lead for the Flames.
Yeah, the Flames are coming back. I am calling it now. We're going to see a Game 5 series decider here. And this is tough to call because the Flames are starting to gain momentum and they're starting to gain pressure. The Shadow kind of got hit with a right hook with that first goal. That double tap really shook them, and here goes Cheese for another one to put another nail in the coffin. And the Flames just running away with it now.
This is what you needed. Go into the kind of get that Game 5 decider with all the momentum. Shadow just really, where'd they go? They had so much offense last game, and it's just vanished before our eyes. And now they're just really in another spot. It's another bad kickoff. Cheese Sandwich gonna try and do it himself again. Not any boost to do it, unfortunately. He ended up with a hard cheat set up for the corner boost. But it's just been all Flames so far. It feels like the Shadow, we were talking about the Flames being so starved out. Now it's the Shadow. P2K out of boost in this situation as well.
Yeah, the Flames are starting to figure out how the Shadow tick. And quite honestly, I'll say this. I believe the Shadow have gotten burned. They are burned out right now. They put on so much pressure in games 2 and 3 that now in game 4, they are like, I feel like they got cocky and it just, they slacked off a little bit, because here's another open net for the Flames, and the Shadow defense just absolutely nowhere to be found.
I mean, the issue is they're not getting the ball past the midfield. I mean, it's a noticeable where P2K, no boost to his name, has to go for a very risky challenge that you're probably not going to win against John. And due to Jordan being taken out of the play, it's just an open net. Offensive, it's 9-2 in shots. We have not seen either of these teams really dominate the shot category like this. And now the Shadow, hopefully they will get one back here because John is out of boost. They will. But again, it just feels like the Shadow have just been really starved out of this whole game 4.
Yeah, the Shadow have had the same tactic employed against them as they were employing in games 2 and 3. And players like Cheese Sandwich and John are veteran enough and skilled enough to pick up on that and to realize that. Prosperity here gets a big save. Cheese Sandwich is going to pop it up off the backboard, going for a double. Doesn't quite get it. John gets a 50, still in the corner. 20 seconds left to play on the clock. Jordan knocks it away. Jordan here, having been the former star of the past 3 matches, has no shots recorded on goal for this game, and that's really cost the Shadow as he's been their leading scorer for the entire series.
Absolutely, and as well with it, like their physical nature is just gone. They didn't have any demos or any physicality that game, which is what really carried them in games 2 and 3, were those physical plays and kind of creative opportunities that they came up with. There just was none of that in this game 4. I just really feel like the Flames locked down and said, no, this is our possession. Like, you're going to have to play our game.
11-3 in the shot department. The Flames flipped the switch and ignited and got their offense going. They were playing creative. They were playing fast. Their communications were much, much better that game than they were in in games 2 and 3. We're starting to see a game 3, a game 1 Flames that comes out of regular things. But now going into game 5, both teams have 2 wins. Neither team really has a whole lot going, but the Flames, this was a huge win for them. So,
Absolutely.
mentally, they're back in it. Those 2 dropped games, days gone, behind you. Doesn't matter. But now you're in game 5. This is the game that decides it all. Who do you think is going to carry their momentum? The Shadow, who are going to rebound off that loss, or the Flames, who are going to keep their momentum?
I think it's all going to come down to what we see from Jordan this game. I think he had such a quiet game 4. I just don't see that happening here. But again, this Shadow lineup is not a team that I've really seen a lot of closing atmosphere and kind of ability to really close up the lobby. Cheese Sandwich is a champion of MLE. John is as well, if I recall. He might not be. I'm not sure, but I know Cheese is. So they understand when it gets to these type of big moment situations, they know how to come through. Shadow, this is their chance to prove that they can do it. Good shot from I think Jordan's going to be the guy to watch. I mean, he's been the guy to watch all series. As I say that, the man does it himself. Good solo goal to open up the score.
Jordan there, John can take a lesson because Jordan had 1 pad that he picked up after he took the shot. Boost? Who needs it? Who needs boost when you got family? Dominic Toretto or someone said that. I don't know. But Jordan wins the kickoff here, gets it down to the corner. John knocks it all the way down for P2K to bang it off the back. Oh, he didn't bang it. Once the 50, though, keeps his boost. Cheese Sandwich comes in and knocks this into the corner. Jordan beats him and knocks it all the way down. John has to half flip, goes back to near post to get ready for a save. Gets an awkward touch there on the corner. Jordan here touches it up to the corner for a cheese Sandwich. The Shadow 50th there. Prosperity is up for this. Gets a beat over John, but nothing comes of it as Cheese Sandwich still has possession. Bad 50 there from Jordan gets dunked, and Prosperity can't keep it out. And the Flames come back and an answer, and we're back to 0-0.
Unfortunate, Prosperity just losing his position on the field. Doesn't realize where the post is as he tries to get to just catch and control it across the field. Just a great play. This shows you've got to be aware of your surroundings. He loses track of where his own net is and gets messed up by the post. And now the Flames, they get everyone back, and now they have a kickoff R2. Now Cheese Sandwich, not much boost, but he will get a shot. It does slide in. Just tragedy on the side of the Shadow.
Yeah, the Shadow are shell-shocked right now. Like I said in Game 4, they are burned from the Flames. That was so close on Jordan's part. He was so close to pinching that out, and what a pinch that would have been, because I guarantee it would have gone the distance. But unfortunately now for the Shadow, you got to start looking at your options. You're down a goal, but you've got almost 4 minutes left of gameplay. Now you're awkward there and you're top of your box. Jordan gets it here out to the sidewall. Cheese Sandwich gets a touch, but Jordan touches it out. Both Shadow players went for that. That's an awkward double commit. Jordan elects to grab the corner boost, play patiently for John to come in. Beats him on a 50. Goes up for this. Prosperity banks it down to the opposite corner. Looking for a second touch. John bangs it off his own backboard. Looking for a dunk on Jordan. Jordan beats him. Cheese Sandwich can't quite get to this, but he manages to get one off the backboard. Going for another double. Oh, he missed it by a city mile. That was so close, but yet so far. Looks like something that I would do. Would completely miss my double touch, but I go for them like 5 times in the game.
And I mean, now it's slowed down a little bit. It feels like the Shadow, they're trying to get a little creative. And we saw PK go for that air dribble, but again, they gotta speed the pace up. But really propelled them in those game 2 to 3 wins. They were controlling the pace of the lobby. It felt like the Flames were just kind of panicking, just trying to find boost because of Shower playing so fast. But now they've just slowed down. It just feels like they're being so patient on these challenges, which is what you can't do when you get players like these Flames players all the time in the world. Now we see John slow it down. Great flick, but not enough to get past Jordan. And now we got to see, can the Shout, can they get back to where they were in games 2 and 3? Pick up the pace.
Cheese Sandwich here has an empty net. It's going to bang that one in near post right past Jordan in the Shadow. Their chances of winning Game 5 are getting slimmer and slimmer as the Flames slowly chip away at that lead, now extending it to 2 goals.
I mean, it's just collapsed. I feel like the one thing we were talking so highly in games 2 and 3 was that communication we saw in the Shadow. I don't see it anymore. I don't know if you do, but I just feel like they're just now so kind of in their heads and in the mental game. They're just not winning, and they're just not talking with each other anymore because it just feels like they're all over the place. No one really has full control. It's a bad double. Jordan with a great save, but it just has been all Flames since the first minute.
Prosperity here as a touch off the backboard, misses it here. Cheese Sandwich has 30 boosts, trying to get it over. Gets it over one. Prosperity has all the boosts in the world to work with for this. Elects to go up for a touch off the backboard. Doesn't have enough to follow for a double, but John makes the save. John here gets the corner boost, has enough to work to the midfield, trying to get a clean touch over Jordan, and the way it's stuck to his car, perfect. Gets it over the last defender, but the rotations on the Flames side is what I think they made the change on. They're starting to spread out. They're starting to play more apart from each other. They're not trying to bunch up and play together, or they're not double committing for a lot of things. But all the changes that we said that the Flames needed to make, they didn't need to listen to us. They already know. They're Premier League. So the Flames, props to them, making good changes mid-series to come out on top.
And I think a good way to like kind of summarize that up is they've been so good when they get the lead. And I think that the rotation, those points have really appeared when they get that first goal, or they get that equalizer, or they get that lead that they so desperately need. They just know how to lock up the rotations and not overcommit. I have not seen an overcommit from once since they have gotten a lead in either games 4 and 5, and they've just been playing textbook defense to not give the Shadow any opportunity. I mean, 3 shots in the Shadow, they've just been locked in to their own end. Here goes P2K with a shot, lays off target again. That shot kind of star ability is just not there for the Shadow in this game number 5.
Cheese Sandwich there going for a flip reset. Prosperity bangs it off to the wall in mid-third. 18 boost, misses the touch. Jordan fakes it and elects to go back to his own net. Has to go up for a shadow save, pun intended. And here comes Cheese Sandwich getting a touchdown. Goes for a flip reset. Oh my goodness gracious me. How? The recovery that this man had to get to the flip reset, to get it over P2K. Somebody clip it, because we're going to watch it again on Wednesday.
I mean, that's how you put an exclamation point on this series. I mean, I hope all the Premier players know now, like, don't trash out my man Cheese Sandwich. I mean, this is beautiful. He's going to try and get a double touchdown end as well, but that's not going to happen. Flames steal away this series in my eyes from the Shadow, and what a way to do it. Great showing from Cheese Sandwich as he has 4 goals in game number 5.
Cheese Sandwich absolutely carried the Flames in that series. 5 shots, 4 goals. He just was the offensive powerhouse that the Flames needed to bring him back. Not quite sure what happened in games 2 and 3, but a 3-2 series is not bad. It's close. So props to the Shadow for playing as well as you did, for getting a couple clips. Props to the Flames for getting their clips. I'm sure enough that we will see both of them on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the Open Net podcast. But, ladies and gentlemen, your night is not over. No, we're just going to do a quick musical chairs of channels here because we're switching from the mainstream to an affiliate stream. So we will be rating one of our affiliate broadcasters who's going to broadcast some more minor league esports action for you on his own channel. I don't see what the game is though, so let me just take a look real quick.
I'll take it over for you real quick while you look it up. I just want to like wrap up that series. I mean, the Shadow, that was their series to win. I don't want to be that guy, but the Flames did have J-Cam playing, and I mean that dude must be pumped for his team and Frisbee as well. I mean, you steal a series that you are on paper so outmatched in. I mean, P2K and Jordan are the top players for the Shadow. That's your A lineup, and you're able to get a win over them with Cheese Sandwich and John, who are both great players. They showed it. That is how you really prove that you're one of the top teams in minor league esports for Premier League this season, and they're going to be the team to watch. I mean, Shadow, you're not out of it. You did get 2 games out of it, but now you're 0-3 in series. You got to turn it around one way or another, and I'm excited to see what they do. I mean, it is still so early that so much could change.
Yeah, well, that next series for us, we're going back down a few tiers to Academy League 3s, the Eclipse at the Hurricanes. That is yet another rivalry that we hear a lot about every season when it happens. The Eclipse, they're working to break that mold. And the Hurricanes coming off of a 2's championship last season. So don't go anywhere. Stick around.